Cars Podcast. Panorama's #1 source for news, reviews, and thoughts about the new wave rock legends, the Cars. Oh, and a little bit of steel wool, sunshine, and rainbows.
Welcome to Night Thoughts, the Cars Podcast, with episode 23 with Dave and Donna. Shit, can we start again?
Are you serious?
Can we do another take?
Yeah, do you want to? Are you being serious?
No, this is real podcasting.
It's at its finest.
This is screwing up and then doing it again and screwing it up again. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to Night Thoughts, the Cars Podcast, episode 23, with Dave and Donna. I'm Dave, your screw-up host. And joining me is... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is this our very first podcast? Are we starting from scratch?
Yes.
It kind of feels
Go
like
ahead.
it. Hi, I'm
Introduce
Donna.
yourself.
I'm
All right,
Donna.
there we go, Donna.
Sunshine and rainbows. That's me.
Yeah. You got it. Yeah. Man. See, you know what the problem is? I've been watching the Olympics.
Oh.
I've got the Olympics fever.
How's that?
And you've asked where I've been. I just realized I've been with the Olympics.
Oh.
And getting into the bobsledding and all that kind of stuff. I was going to bring up the curling. Last night, first time, I'm just sitting there watching the live feed or whatever, and they bring curling on. And it was bizarre.
I did not understand that event at all.
It's like a giant shuffleboard game.
On ice.
On ice. Yeah, it's like, you ever seen Harry Potter? You ever watched the Harry Potter movies?
No, not at all.
Well, there's a scene in Harry Potter where they're like in this giant chessboard, and they actually like ride the brook. And this is what curling reminds me of. It's like a giant shuffleboard these guys are standing on, and they get down there and they slide the thing down, and I guess the thing that's interesting to me is that they take it so serious.
Yes, yes.
They come down there and they talk about where they do it and all this kind of stuff. And they're athletes, mind you.
Oh, right.
They should be standing there with, like a beer and a koozie. When they're curling. I don't know.
So, yeah, I was going to say they're so intense that
it's
just comical. Like, I don't.
Yeah. So I sat there and watched curling. I didn't get into the game, but it was just interesting to watch these guys get so into it. Like, ugh.
Yeah, serious stuff.
Move that shit forward.
Jeez Louise.
Really awesome.
Yes, well, good. So that's where you've been. Yeah, I was wondering. We haven't talked for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Except minor insults here and there, but other than that, I heard from you.
You got it. To the business.
Yeah, okay. What you got?
Everybody, subscribe to our YouTube channel. How many subscribers are we up to now, Donna?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't looked for a while. I'll check while you carry on.
We were at 44 or something like that. But you're already here. You've gone to us from bit.do/Night Thoughts. Hit that subscribe button. You're listening already. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/group/Night Thoughts Podcast, and send us a damn email, nightthoughtspodcast@gmail.com.
47 subscribers.
We gained 3.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Hey, now is the time for the Rock Hall to be checking our credentials out. Just saying.
Yes.
Just saying. Because, when I put in that, what do you call it, the form or whatever?
Yeah,
to get
the
press
application.
credentials, I think we only had like 30 something.
Yeah.
They'll come and check us out and they'll go like, oh, these guys aren't total losers. They've got 47.
Look at that % growth. These guys are on the rise.
They're going to number 1. No, we are number 1.
We are. We're at the top, baby.
I'm pretty sure I put that in the application. We are the number 1 longest running podcast.
Oh man, I am just keeping my fingers crossed that some gum chewing, brace faced intern is sitting there, sorting these things out. Just, one goes in that pile, three in that pile. That we're gonna squeak through.
Yeah, that's right. That'd be awesome.
That would be, oh my gosh. I would probably stroke out. I'm serious. That would be the end of my life. So if that happens, don't be surprised.
Yep. So here we are, Donna, episode 23, The Car's Essential Library.
Yes.
Is what we're talking about tonight. All the books and publications that we have very little, quite honestly. But
I know you let that lead in. I was like, ooh, I have a small stack.
All the books and publications that are available to for us to read and take note of, and we just we want to give them some little bit of some press for their accomplishments.
Yes.
So you said you've got a small stack. I've
do.
got a small stack.
Okay.
And we have what? A few books in common?
I don't know. I don't know. You give everything away, so I don't know what you still have. Honestly, I am just like, I don't no clue.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. I have not given any books away.
Okay. Not even
wait.
Frozen. Yeah, Frozen Fire.
No, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
But you had a bunch of those.
No, that didn't count. I did give away one songbook.
Okay.
Called the Cars Anthology, and I don't know who I gave it to. That's what's crazy. I was going through all my books, and I'm going, "Where's that Cars Anthology at? I know I have it." And then I realized, okay, I gave that away. But who did I give it away to? I have no clue.
That's all right.
I have no clue.
Well, I have to tell you, I'm so excited about this subject because I don't know if you already know this, but I am a book freak. I love books. My house, I have because I'm an organizational freak as well. I have actually a piece of software that I use. I have a barcode scanner, and I have all my books cataloged. I have over 2,000 books in my house.
Wow.
Ranging from, kids' books. I've got science, I've got chapter books, I've got adult books, I've got everything.
You don't make your kids check out books from their own house, do you?
Do I have to answer that on the air?
And then, well, see, the reason why I ask is I have an app on my phone that I use for my classroom library, and I let kids check out Star Wars books.
Okay.
And so I'm just wondering if you're doing the same thing to your kids.
No. I don't make them check it out. Although they used to play library when they were little. And
No, I can just see you writing it down. Nick, letter F, Encyclopedia Britannica. Okay, Nick, you can go now.
It's close. Not quite that bad. But yeah, so I love books. So my little, it's, granted I only have a handful of Cars books, but I love to read. And so getting my hands on books about my favorite band was just a double whammy. So I'm excited.
So where do you keep your Cars publications? Do you keep them in a special spot?
Yes. They are in my room on my headboard. I keep them, I have my little whatever book I'm reading at the moment, then plus, the next 2 or 3 coming up, and then I've got my whole little stack of Cars books all lined up right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in our den, I've got these built-in bookcases, and I just kind of throw mine on a shelf.
Wow.
They're just kind of stacked up there. So there's the difference.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure that's appropriate, but okay.
Yeah. There we go. Well, why don't we start with the big one?
Physically, or
No. I think the most sought after book about the Cars. Frozen Fire.
Yes. Okay. Good. That's what I thought you meant.
By Toby Goldstein.
Yes.
Photography by Ebert Roberts.
Yes.
Both females.
Yes.
In case people weren't aware of that.
I had to learn that the hard way.
A little history about this book.
Okay.
First off, and I know I've told the story before, back in the Frozen Fire email days, people started talking about this book. And there was a place, of course I don't remember where, that you could order them in bulk, dirt cheap. And a buddy of mine and I both ordered a dozen or more of them. and I ended up, of course, giving them away. I also found a copy at one time in a dollar store for $1, which people would cringe at now because of the prices this thing fetches on eBay.
Yes.
And I think right now you can get this and Ric's lyrics and prose for $60.
Is that how much they are now? I was
See.
just going to pull it up really quick, see what it was going for. I forgot to do that earlier. Go ahead.
But this book is, well, unlike the others, I think this one is a book that, you know, tells the history of the Cars, gives the background on all the band members, and pretty much charts their lives from pre-Cars all the way through the year after Heartbeat City.
Yes.
So it's an interesting read. It's an easy read. You could probably, you know, read it in a day, no problem, if that.
Yeah.
But still, good book, filled with lots of little bits. And I had not read it for at least I'm sure over 10 years, maybe even 20 years, who knows?
Wow.
Until this week, and I reread it.
Wow. Okay. Well, I will tell you that it's going for anywhere between $60 and $125. Frozen Fire is used, of course.
Man.
So
I got to go back in time and talk to like 1996 Dave and say, okay, give Benjamin Orr one, but then tell the rest of the guys to piss off because in 20 years, you can sell these suckers for like $100 a piece on eBay.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Man alive. It's incredible. Just incredible.
And I do want to tell my little story again. I know I wrote a blog article about it, but how I got my copy, I was looking at it when I first, during my first year of really being into the whole Fanorama and stuff. And I was watching it on eBay and hemming and hawing about, if I should spend my little shekels on it. And I wrote a review of it. I checked out from the library and I wrote a review on it and said that couldn't decide if I was going to get it or not. And a gal that I hardly knew, Lee, she bought it for me off eBay and mailed it to me as a gift because I wanted it, and she gave it to me. I was just floored. I know I'm pretty sure I've told the story before. We've talked about just how great the people are in the Fanorama. And so whenever, of course, I look at it or read it or think about it, I think of her, and I still appreciate so much that she did that for me.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, very
nice.
She gave it away just like you give it away.
Yes.
See?
Exactly.
Very nice.
So, Donna, in reading through this, first of all, Toby, Ms. Goldstein,
Yes.
she covered the Cars through Cream magazine.
Okay.
Before writing this book.
Okay.
And so I don't know. I assume they would consider it the official biography of the Cars. I don't think it's an unofficial kind of thing. I'm sure they knew that she was doing it.
Right.
And Ebert Roberts was kind of the Cars photographer. She spent a lot of time with them.
Yes, she did the photography in Europe during their first tour there in 1978, and yeah, she was quite involved.
Yeah, and so all the pictures in this book from early days in '78 all the way up through Heartbeat City and so forth were all by one person, which is just it's incredible, just incredible.
Yeah.
The thing I found out about this book, though, that as I was reading through it and I took notes on it, was that there's some things that just don't add up in this book.
Yes.
Now that we know some more things about the band and about the people in the band, and I would come across things and be like, wait a second, what's going on here? I don't get it. And like, for example, the first in the early part of it. And I believe
page 8.
Well, my first part was page 6 or 7, but yes, I do have something about page 8. Yes, on page, okay. So what you're referring to on page 8 is the story about Benjamin not getting out of going to the army, right?
Yes.
Acting mentally ill and whatever. And we
Yes.
know that's not true.
Right.
So was that just a shit story he was telling her at the time?
Well, let me read the
Or
excerpt, okay?
yeah.
Let me read it, okay? It says, what does it say? How come I can't find it now? I'm serious. I have it earmarked. I have it, but I can't find it. It is gone. It's totally gone. Here we go. After various group members.
Various? Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Do you want a choral read?
No.
After various group members
does this feel like you're
into the
Does it feel like you're at school with one of your dumb students?
Into the what,
Into
Donna?
the Bueller.
Army.
Bueller.
Go ahead.
Okay. After various group members were drafted into the Army, the Grasshoppers eventually split up, or avoided the fate of his colleagues by, quote, acting mentally ill, threw tables in the induction center and stuff, end quote, and was thus able to return to the life of an itinerant musician. So,
yeah, not true.
Not true, but I think that she did conduct interviews with the band. I mean, as far as it being official or whatever, I think she actually talked to them for this book. And it would make, I could totally see Benjamin telling that story.
Yes.
You know, it makes it's so reasonable to me that he would pull her leg like that and be like, yeah, you know, this is what I did, and then just leave it at that, even though it's obviously not the truth. So I think she's reporting what she was told.
Yeah. On page 11, they talks about the first time that Rick met Ben, and she cites 1969. Mm-hmm. But didn't Rick in the Sirius town hall kept saying it was 67?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he said 67. So, you know, that's one of those things you chalk up to, okay, maybe Rick is remembering it different now.
Right.
Because you wouldn't think as a younger man that he would mess up the date of when he met Benjamin. You know, that kind of thing.
Well, isn't there some kind of, didn't they meet once and then they went their separate ways for a while and then they met up again? Does that sound familiar to you?
No.
For some reason I was thinking that.
Well, I think they had to, because if Benjamin went into the army.
Right. So
Rick didn't follow him.
No.
You know, it wasn't like Gomer Pyle where, you know, you go there and.
Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah, where they both go.
Yeah. So
Private Orr and Ocasek or Ocasek are AWOL again.
Sitting in a tent somewhere smoking a joint. I think that sounds reasonable to me. So maybe they met first in 67 and then, you know, then went off and did whatever and then came back together in 69. Yeah. Maybe that's the case.
That sounds true. But the biggest thing that I got out of this when I was reading it is on page 6 and 7.
Okay.
So you people who have your copy of Frozen Fire, follow along.
Yes.
But it basically is talking about Rick's early life and so forth, and when he came to Baltimore, and then when he was in Baltimore, then he relocated to Ohio at age 16. Okay. And he's kind of painted as this, you know, an outsider. He's got this blonde streak in his hair, and he gets smashed in the face by somebody who didn't appreciate it, blah blah blah.
Right.
And it's that bit of him being an outsider that it doesn't add up to me now, because, you know, now, you know, going through old yearbooks and stuff, there's Rick on the track team, there's Rick on the basketball team, the JV, you know, basketball team. That's not an outsider to me. You know, that doesn't, it doesn't, you know, so I don't know if there's like, you know, different time periods that, you know, he's talking about, or exactly, you know, what that was about. It really, in other words, it really shocked me when to be looking through old yearbooks and to see, you know, Richard Ocasek on the track team.
Right, how involved
and
he
on the
was
art,
in.
because that, I mean, if you're going that outsider route in high school, you're not on the track team. You don't want anything to do with that. You realize that's a bunch of bull crap.
Right, right.
So that just, I just kind of looked at that different now in this book, because that's where people always got that idea that Rick was, an outsider and so forth, was from this book.
Well, I don't know though. I mean, to me, maybe not outsider, but to quote a song, definitely I feel like a misfit kid. I mean, his way
Yes.
of thinking was not in line with everybody else's way of thinking. How much he participated or not doesn't necessarily indicate who, personality-wise, how he
Yeah.
didn't fit in.
But it
So,
does, and I quote, he was feeling compelled to establish his individuality. Rick arrived at his new high school in Cleveland with a blonde streak bleached into his raven black hair. He got punched in the mouth by someone who didn't appreciate this sense of the unique.
well, and so the
And
yearbooks that you looked at, were those Cleveland?
yeah, and I can't remember the name of the high school now. I'm drawing a blank on it.
I don't know.
I keep thinking
Valley
Valley.
4. I know, that's what I keep
Valley.
thinking.
Yeah, that's Ben's.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Anyway, so the other part that I thought was funny was when they're talking about the cap and swing days in this book, and they talk about getting rid of the jazz-oriented drummer. He was the jazz-oriented drummer who was asked to leave.
Yes.
Mm. Mm.
Well, we haven't
Mm.
we haven't done our swing episode yet, but
Yeah.
I thought what you thought at first, but there was a second drummer that David
Oh, was
replaced.
there?
Yeah, I think his name was
Okay.
Kevin Robichaud or something, Robi.
So was Kevin Jazzy?
Well, he was the one that was there when Dave came in the picture.
Mm.
So so
So that's probably who they're talking
yeah,
about.
I think the
Okay.
other drummer left voluntarily earlier.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe that was the reason for all the bitterness.
No, no, I wish we could point to that, but
No, it's
no.
no go, huh?
We'll have to, yeah,
Wow.
we'll discuss that in our Captain Swing episode.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
so on the other part that I found very interesting was, and we've talked about this before, is when it talks about Chapter X,
Yes.
and that's on page 77.
Okay.
And I'll read from that part. It says, over the years, the Cars had enjoyed a growing friendship with a young South American filmmaker named Luis, I'm going to guess, Era?
Area?
Luis Era? Area? No, it's not Area. It's Air with an
Oh.
A on the end of it. So
Oh,
Luis Era.
there you go.
Era, who in 1979 at age 17 had directed the extraordinary Girl in the Pool, Chanel television commercial, displayed a surrealistic sensibility combined with the perfect economy of execution with which the Cars could strongly identify. Following the Shake It Up tour, Rick produced a 30-minute film of eras called Chapter X, and featuring musical involvement from David and Greg.
Okay.
So, and this kind of got me going again on the Chapter X, and I emailed him.
Emailed who?
Someone asked about Luis Era.
You did.
Yeah, I did. I emailed him, and he responded to me, and it's kind of interesting. So I want to throw this at you.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? When you are the longest running number one podcast about the Cars, hey man, people will answer you. Just saying.
I guess so. Well.
All right. So he writes back, and I'll read what I wrote. I just wrote to them that I was wondering if there's any site online that I could view Chapter X. Because
Okay.
I mean, I'm really interested in seeing this,
Yeah.
And I just told him, I'm a fan of the Cars and blah 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 and da da da. And he replied back the same evening, and it says, "Greetings. Chapter X is not online. I only have a film copy of it, and Rick has a video master he seems to have misplaced somewhere. It's in the vault.
Yes, I know it is. Dang
Yeah.
it.
Thank you for your interest. I do hope to digitize my copy and put it on the web eventually. You're not the first person to ask lately, and that amazes me. So I'll have to talk to Rick about putting that film out and the others we made. Others we made.
Others we made?
Now, to get this is the part that just blows me away. There is an improvised short called Unit 3, which I'm guessing is maybe an apartment building, Unit 3.
Okay.
There's an improvised short called Unit 3 we did, starring Rick, Paulina, and Alan Vega, that I would like to see out there as well.
No!
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
That is awesome.
Okay, I'm going to say that, first of all, that is a Night Thoughts exclusive right there. That information that you just imparted to the world. And if nobody knows about it, it's because they're missing out on the podcast. Wow.
There you go. But yeah, wouldn't that be cool to see?
Yes! I'm stunned. Okay, and also write back to him and tell him, don't worry about Rick. We'll take care of that. Just send us the films. Tell him that. I'll have Nicholas digitize it pronto. Yeah, just tell him, don't sweat it, Luis.
Hey, Luis, I know a guy who knows a guy.
Exactly.
I know a guy who birthed a guy.
There you go.
Who can take care of that for you.
Wow. I'm so excited about that. Oh, come on.
Because I really want to see this. I mean, God, it's, that's all people talk, chapter X. But, I really want to, the big thing is, hearing this music, the soundtrack that goes with it, and, God, to see this Unit 3, that would be incredible. And,
wow.
I don't know if you feel the same way, but, I've said before that Drive is my favorite video.
Yes.
And it's my favorite video because I just love that scene between Paulina and Rick.
Yes.
Just that little bit. And they've got chemistry together. And it would be cool to see them do something else. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's more than just the fact that they're, married to each other. There's, even before they're married to each other, there was just a, charisma there. So,
right.
Chemistry. So I would love to see that Unit 3. That would be incredible.
Wow.
And with Alan Vega. I wonder if Alan Vega plays like a Schneider character. He's the super of the building,
Right, he's always swiping his hands on a red bandana that he's in his pocket. A little bit of a grease
yelling,
monkey.
"Make war! Make war!" Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So that's what you were doing that in between curling events? Is that what?
While watching curling.
While watching curling, you were chatting it up with Luis.
Yes, I was. Yeah. Hey, and also to give a plug to Joe Milliken. He did an interview with Luis on the Standing Room Only site.
Yes.
And it just talks about how he that Luis was friends with David Robinson, and that's how things kind of clicked together, and and talks a little bit about Chapter X.
Nice. Are you there?
Yeah. I'm just looking through my copy of Frozen Fire.
I'm stunned. Because you know what, really, the possibility of new stuff is so exciting in the Fanorama that I'm just gonna start hanging around in New York and try to run into Rick somewhere and then be like, oh, hey, you look familiar. Oh, weren't you the guy that did Chapter X? And then
I think I got a tape of that somewhere. But I misplaced it.
Well, I'll follow you home and I will help you find it. That's what I do. And then I'll be like, Dave, grab the leash. Come on, we're in.
I'm kind of shocked that Roy Thomas Baker isn't in that Unit 3 too. He was in everything, you know. He's always around.
Maybe he is. Maybe he's lurking in the elevator.
Yeah. How cool is it though? I mean, and you see him in a few pictures in the book. I mean,
Right.
you know, they're on tour and there's Roy.
Yeah.
Roy's on tour with them. I mean, how often does a producer go on tour,
I
you
was
know, with them,
wondering
meet him up
about
in tour?
that. Yeah, the
It's
pictures of
very
them in
cool.
Japan. Um, they're,
Yeah.
yeah, I've totally thought that. Like, it does seem kind of strange that he was with them all the time, but very
Yeah, I think
cool.
it's cool.
Yeah, very cool. In fact, I was thinking there was one in here of him that I wanted to scan in. I don't remember really seeing it around the internet very much, so I wanted to scan it in and just post it because it's the one with Greg in the background and he's obviously eating and drinking something, pizza maybe, I don't know. But it's a good picture, so I thought, oh, I should get that circulating out there.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, good old RTB. um, One of the things I thought was really funny, just a tiny little thing, was on page 44 when Greg characterized David as being opposite man. He said David's tendency to state his opinions quite firmly and often in disagreement with the other cars earned him the nickname of opposite man, Greg Hawkes confided, because you can always count on him for the other opinion. Sometimes I may
Yeah.
feel that it makes things harder to do than they should be, but I can see somebody always being the devil's advocate, taking the opposite viewpoint. That was an interesting insight into David.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
No kidding.
the
Oh,
other,
and of course he does that on Facebook when people get things wrong.
you,
Yeah.
you know that is exactly what I thought of when I read
He will
that part
chime
of
in.
the book. I know I just pictured it in my mind, seeing his comments on certain pages. Um, the other thing one thing that she wrote, I did not care for, and you'll know why. It's this. She said, the Cars' first two albums were innovative, thought-provoking, and compelling, yet they were also enjoyable. Panorama was not enjoyable. Panorama was like the guest of honor who shows up at the grand ball wearing an executioner's hood, carrying a bucket of ice water, and dumps it unceremoniously over the stunned revelers. She's
See,
talking about Panorama.
yeah. Well, I can't believe that she's saying that, you know, basically saying that it was bad in the book, but I like her description of Panorama because that is how it hit at the time. I mean, it's the way it felt. It's the way it you know, came across the public that it was just, you know, dark and that they'd lost it and this was it, and you know that they were succumbing to the pressures of other bands like them now and that kind of thing. So good description. Not really the
Well,
most kind of a rude thing to put in your book about the cars.
yeah, if she would have, if she would have ended that with, but, it was
But
innovative, it was creative, it was,
yeah,
expressive of his emotions. It was, she could have said something nice about it, but she did go on to explain, like you said, that critics were sort of freaking out about it, and it was a work of angst on Ric's part because of all the stuff they were going through, the betrayal of their, people that had been in their corner and stuff like that. So, I mean, I didn't like that when she was like, Panorama was not enjoyable. I did not read that in a happy tone of voice. I did not like that. I got my dukes up a little
it gave me hives.
bit. A little bit.
I sneezed uncontrollably when I listened to Panorama.
The other
Yeah, but
thing,
hey, some people don't like Panorama.
well,
Some people, that was the end of them following the Cars. That was the last Cars album they bought was Panorama.
that's a shame.
And it's that, but you know, bands put out those albums that separate the hardcore fans from the casual fans, and Panorama was it.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I would probably guess that in some ways they picked up new audience because of the different sound. And then, yeah, they probably lost some. But then they did a big U-turn and flipped back around when they got to Shake It Up. And so, they probably got some of that back. Well, and obviously they went on to be even more successful. But I just, I get my dukes up about Panorama. So.
Well, I've said before that Panorama was not my favorite album until the remaster came out.
Yeah, yeah.
And once I started listening to it remastered, boom, it just like opened up for me.
Yeah. I've read this book actually several times, and whenever I write, when I write different articles, I usually will kind of remember, oh yeah, I think she said something about that in the book, and I'll refer back to it quite a bit. But every time I read it, I do, something sticks out new. And I had started an article about Elliot Easton's Change No Change album and the little tour that he did.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really find much information on it, and it's a draft. I have not gone on to complete that article. Too busy, but I did come across. She talks about that here on page 110, 111. That he did a little tour, and for his album, he did his album at Synchro, and one of the players on it was Brad Hallen. Didn't he end up touring with Ben in the 90s, Brad Hallen?
That name sounds very familiar.
Yeah, I think he was Ben's bass player in the late 90s, and I can't remember if he was. I have to go back and look. I can't remember if he was the bass player at that Veely's Planet show or if there was a different bass player.
That's what I'm thinking, because when you said that name, I visualized a piece of paper that I wrote down all the band members' names on.
Okay.
After being at Veely's.
Okay.
And so maybe there's a connection there.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, I knew that name. I know that name's connected to Ben, so I'm pretty sure he played with Ben. And then it does go on to say too that it lists the artists that Elliot used on his little tour to follow up Change No Change. And that was, I think someone had even asked me that at some point, and I needed to follow up on that. But that information is here, so that was good. I didn't remember that it was in here.
So overall, Donna, what grade would you give Frozen Fire, The Story of the Cars by Toby Goldstein?
What grade?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd say it's an A.
Yeah, I would too. I'd give it an
solid.
A. Excellent book.
Yeah, covers a lot of ground.
Highly.
Yeah.
Yep.
When I bought the book, I was of course hoping for more of a well-rounded representation of the band members. It's pretty much a book about Ric, or not about Ric, but about Ric's project, the Cars. I mean, I feel like it's all centered on Ric, and rightfully so. I do consider the Cars to be Ric's band, in a sense. But that's not what I was thinking it was going to be when I first got it. So I was a little disappointed at first, but I think it's solid. It's a solid book.
Yes. So, people, if you can afford it, pick it up. It is an awesome book to have.
And I do. I always give a plug for your local library. You can even if you don't have it at the library itself, ask your librarian. They can usually get an interlibrary loan, and you can get it from a location that has it and have it delivered right to your library. So that's how I got my first read.
All right, so let's go to another book. I know you have a book that I don't have.
Okay.
And it's the picture book that says the Cars in the fancy letters. Of course, has a picture of just Ric's head on the front.
Ric's head on the front. Oh, the black one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
Philip came
blackish,
in.
Yeah,
and Peter Goddard book. Yes.
So tell us about that one.
I love.
When did it come out?
This book. Okay. I did not write down a bunch of notes for these, so let me look really quick. But this is going to be the same kind of thing. It came out after Heartbeat City. Its copyright is 1986. And it does talk about Benjamin's solo album in here, which is good. So this book, it's beautiful pictures. The pictures are by Philip Kamen. The text is by an author named Peter Goddard. And it's very difficult to find and very expensive. I think the last time I looked on this, and maybe you can look this one up, was like $500.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, for this. I happened to just squeak in on an eBay thing when everybody else apparently was asleep, and I got it for like $50. And it's just beautiful. It's oversized, so
Not quite as big as the Robus book, though, right?
um,
Maybe just about.
it is the same. It's no, it's not quite as big as the Robus books. Probably inch and a half smaller, inch and a half shorter, and a half an inch, in. I don't know. But it's bigger than the Frozen Fire book. Um, and it has a lot of color photos, color two-page spreads, um, and then a lot of black and white pictures too. There's just great photography in here. And it's chronological also, but in between the chapters it has, so it'll do a little bit of just the general history, and then it has a chapter on Rick, and then a little bit more history, and then it has a chapter on, Ben and Greg. Everybody has their own chapter, complete with their own beautiful pictures, highlighting each of them. It is 96 pages long, and it's a great read. This book is where I first learned that Greg Hawkes was not originally in the Cars in 1977 when they played their first show. When they played, or 1976, when they played that New Year's Eve show. Greg wasn't in the band at that point.
Ah.
And I did not know that until I came across that in this book, and I was like, no, that can't be right. And then something else confirmed it, and I can't remember, but this was where that first came to light. So it's a great book, and each chapter of each band member has lots of quotes and great interview, an interview with each individual member. So yeah, it's my favorite. It's my favorite of all the Cars books I have.
More than Frozen Fire?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Partly because it's just so visually appealing. It's a beautiful book. And Frozen Fire has some color photos in the back. There's that add-on section, and the black and white sprinkled throughout, which is great. But there's just something about having these big images. It's just really nicely done. Kind of it's glossy throughout. It's just a really, really beautifully done book. So yeah, and like I said, they talked to Ben about his songwriting and his process of working on a solo album, and so that's more than what Frozen Fire has. And same what I was saying, about wishing Frozen Fire focused more on the different members of the band. This book definitely does. Each one is equally represented, so it's really nice.
Cool.
Yeah, it's.
I haven't seen that on eBay for quite a while.
I think it's on Amazon.
Oh, really?
I think, if I remember right, I'll pull it up. But I did have, like I said, I had a hard time finding it, and then I just could not believe that I squeaked through getting it on that thing. In fact, I had gone to summer camp that first year, bid on it before I left, and when I came home, I had won it, and I was totally surprised. And so, yeah. I don't know what else to say about it. I don't know. It's a great book. Highly recommend. A+.
In the same light, the Cars book by Robus Books, and I think the date on this is 85.
Okay.
I got it in a very similar fashion. I got my copy off of eBay and got it for like $15.
Nice.
Which is a steal. The thing I got the thing, it gets delivered, I throw it on my shelf, okay? I didn't even look through this thing until this week. And so I was really surprised by how nice the photographs were and so forth, but there's a poster in this thing too.
Yours has a poster?
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
But it's one of those deals where you have to tear the crap out of the book to get the poster out, but the poster is, you would know the picture. It's a panorama era picture. And Elliot's got the cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and Greg's wearing one of those white and black striped shirts.
Okay.
from the panel, and I can't see Benjamin because of the way it's folded and so forth. But yeah, it's got a poster in the middle of it.
Wow, that's really awesome. Mine didn't come with a poster.
You can't have my poster, Donna.
Can you hear the little gears in my brain turning?
Yeah.
I know. Let's see. Do I bring up the turntable cover that I did?
No.
How do
no.
I? No. I would never ask you to ruin your book.
Wait a second. The poster is of right on the inside cover.
Okay.
That first picture.
Oh yes, the
That's
five
the
of them.
Poster. Yeah, there's a poster of that.
With Ben in the beret.
With Frenchie Benjamin.
Frenchie, yes. And
Oui, oui.
David looking like some kind of, mime with his black and white mime suit on. Is that Marceau?
Yes. Elliot's got some aggression going on.
Yeah.
Rick just looks lost. Rick looks like he's plotting something.
Yes, he does.
He's going to take over the world.
You're right about Greg. Look at the way he's turned to the side. Like, what? What'd you say?
He's like, Wapner comes on in 15 minutes. Yeah. Poor Greg.
I adore Greg. Well, that's really cool.
But this one, has it chronicles the band, goes through different dates. Starts out with 76. Yeah. Has a lot of pictures. Then goes to 77.
The text is really limited. I mean,
Yes.
To me, it seems like this is like a school library book. Like middle school.
Yeah. Or like a tour book. It reminds me of a tour book.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Or a tour book. Yeah. Yeah. And so, of course, I wrote a review about this book as well. And I did try to find out what the intention of this book was. If it was a tour book or if it was a school, meant for school. Because Robus books are in schools a lot. And there's a huge series of these books by Philip Kamen, and most of them are by Philip Kamen. There's other photographers that have done them too for Robus, but there's a ton of them. Def Leppard, and I'm trying to even think of who, because there's just a bunch. So I thought maybe it was some series that was specifically done for a school or for the schools, but I never was able to come up with an answer for that.
Might have been.
I do want to say really quick, going back to the black one by Philip Kamen and Peter Goddard, there is a used copy on Amazon right now for $34.11. There's also one for $226.62.
Why $34.11?
I have no idea, but what I'm saying to you is...
What shape is it in?
If you want this book, let's see, you might want to... Because there's another one for $262. It says, used, very good.
Really?
Ships from Delaware. Yeah. So there's two. There's one for... There's 1, 2, 3 of them for under $50 right now. So people, if you want this book, I'm saying snap it up, because when I was shopping for it, it was $500. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe I'll buy them, and maybe I'll buy them and resell them. Maybe this is the 2037 Donna looking backwards into me. 2038, 20 years in the future, talking back to me, telling me to buy these books because I'll be able to sell them at a profit. Do you think that's what's going on?
Could be.
Well, I don't have any money.
Could be. You know what the bad part about buying anything on Amazon is?
What?
Is that once you buy something by the cars, then they send you those stupid emails that will say things you might be interested in.
Oh, yeah.
The Cars debut album. No, I've got it, dude. I've got it.
Believe me. So it's out there for sale. That's really nice to know. I'm going to look up the Robus one too. The Robus one I had a really hard time finding. I knew that it was out there, but it's not listed. And I knew it was Philip Kamen Photography. You know that, right? But these are all okay. Interestingly, the book itself credits photography to Mike O'Brien and Kelly Thompson. But these photographs are Philip Kamen photographs. Philip Kamen lists this book as his book on his own website. So that's another mystery I couldn't solve, is why the photography credit is different. But when I went to find it, I was looking for it as a Philip Kamen book. And I ended up, I don't even remember how I stumbled across it. but I figured out that the author was a woman named Stacy Lee. And so I had to look it up under her, and then it came up. And then I think I got it for like $10 because nobody knew what it was. Right now it's $150 on Amazon. So that's definitely gone up in price since I first discovered it. So, but again, like you said, great photographs. It's big, oversized, a short overview of the history of the band, but the pictures are worth it. Not $150, I don't think, but I'm glad I have it.
And what I'm sorry, what company put that one out again?
Robus? Is that what you said? Or is that what
No,
you're
no,
asking?
the one you're talking about. The one we just did before.
The black one, the Peter Goddard book.
Yes.
That's a McGraw-Hill paperback.
See,
McGraw-Hill.
McGraw-Hill,
That's a
I'm
school.
thinking is in education.
Yeah, I was gonna say they do textbooks, school textbooks,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So yeah, I'm curious what the original intentions were when the ideas were, bandied about of, hey, let's do a book on the Cars. Was it for a tour book? Was it for schools, or was it just a book in general? A photography book?
Hmm.
I don't know. This one, this black one too, this Peter Goddard one. Do you remember me telling you that story about the BS crazy lady who tried to convince me that the photograph of
Oh, yes.
Benjamin's 18th birthday,
Birthday.
yeah, that was actually his 18th birthday? Yeah, that's in this Peter Goddard book on page 10, and it's clearly not his 18th birthday.
So obviously she must have this book,
Yeah, I guess. Or
because where else would she get the photograph?
she said she was friends with Philip Kamen. So, that whole thing. Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah. So those two books, I think, to me, they're kind of companion books because they do both have Philip Kamen photography in them, and they're similar. But those are both beautiful books. I like those books a lot. I give those A pluses. A plus for the black one for sure. Probably a solid A for the white one.
Okay, so you also have another book that I noticed from the picture called Supergroups.
Yes.
So tell me about that one.
Okay, so Supergroups is a little chapter book by a gal named Cynthia Dagnall, and it has 12 chapters in it, and each one is about a different band. Let me look at the copyright date here really quick. That gives a history of these different bands. This was put out in 1981, so it's definitely earlier. It includes bands like Foreigner and Aerosmith and Cheap Trick. They all have chapters in here, Van Halen, but there's a chapter in here on the Cars. And her writing style is very conversational. It's not, it's as opposed to educational. You know what I mean? She uses a lot of really informal language and, kind of jokes around and stuff. So it's fun to read. But it's the same. It contains a history of the band, a lot of Captain Swing stuff, about how they got David and things like that, and goes through, I think, can't remember if it goes all the way through Panorama. I think she does talk about Panorama. That's Greg. But yeah, it definitely doesn't go it was put out a lot earlier than the other books, so it's incomplete for sure. They're talking a lot about Candio here, so I'm not sure if Panorama was even out when she wrote this. I did not reread this entire chapter before this episode. But it's good. It's fun. And and actually, if anybody wants to read this text, the way that I found out about it was in the Facebook group called Benjamin Orr Remembered. In their files, this chapter was scanned in and posted in that group. So I think that you can probably still go there and find it and read it online.
Copyright.
Oh, hush. Fair use. Fair use.
Fair use.
I'll pull this up really quick and see if it's available online. But there was not much when I went to grab it, but I got it super cheap. diagonal. But yeah, like I said, you wouldn't have to buy it. You can just go to the Benjamin All Remembered group and look there. Yeah, they've got it's $6-7 online. There's 7 copies on Amazon, so it's available. And like I said, it's got all these other bands. So
Well, the one book that, excuse me, that I know that I have that you don't, I wouldn't expect you to have because it's The Car's Complete. It's a music songbook.
okay.
I got it back, gosh, I don't even know when. I'm thinking it was put out like in the late 80s. It was
Okay.
after Door to Door because it has every song in it.
Okay.
Of course, with the guitar chords and so forth, and that's why I bought it. It's out of print. It's put out by Warner Music,
Okay.
Warner Brothers. So, pretty cool book. I really liked it just because, every song I could look up and see how to play.
Right.
And, also have the lyrics in there and that kind of thing. But, for some of our musician listeners out there, pretty cool book. But I know on Amazon I looked it up and it's just listed as not available. But
Oh,
this may
okay.
be something that, somebody could pick up on eBay. But
Right.
like I said, it's called The Car's Complete. It's black, all black, doesn't have any pictures on it. It's got silver lettering. And actually, it's not even called The Car's Complete. It's just called Car's Complete.
Huh.
And then on the back of it, it lists all the songs
Okay.
in alphabetical order. So it starts with A Dream Away, then all mixed up. But on the inside, let me look. Yeah, on the inside, it takes it album by album, song by song, as in the order they are in the album. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, good. Okay.
And it includes Don't Go to Pieces.
Hey, that's worth it right there.
Guess what chord Don't Go to Pieces starts with?
Oh my gosh. Do you remember who you're talking to? I like failed flute. Okay. I have no idea.
Starts with an E, by golly.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. That means
Okay.
just so much less than nothing to me, but good. I love the song, so it's got to be good. E's got to be
Well,
good.
I'm the guy who learned guitar by looking at books like that, so,
Well,
I can't say
perfect.
much either.
So, but no photographs or no little
No,
history or
nope,
anything, just straight music.
not a thing,
Nice. All right.
not a thing.
Okay.
Well, two other Cars publications, well, I call them publications,
Okay.
that I think kind of goes with the Robus book in that it has lots of pictures in it, is the little book that comes with the Cars Unlocked DVD. Love this little book.
Oh,
And, it's got pictures, black and white pictures, but then it lists just little snippets of lyrics in
yes.
there.
Yes.
So, just for I know people pick it up for the DVD, obviously, but the little book in it's just fantastic.
I forgot about
Um,
that. I didn't even think about it. There's
yeah.
typos in there.
Really?
Yeah. I'd have to go grab my copy, but yeah, there's typos in
Very cool, though. Cool little
there.
book.
Sorry, I didn't
I
mean to
wish
be
they
a
would have
sting.
put more in it.
Yes,
But
always.
this is the kind of thing that hopefully this year, when they re-release the debut album in whatever format um, for the 40th anniversary, they do something like this with a
Yeah.
little book and some writing in it and some different pictures we haven't seen before. That'd be pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that'd be so cool. So cool. They could put it out with the footage of the album debut party and
Yes,
oh,
please.
yes, yes. The France show in its entirety, if it exists. So much they
The,
could
oth-
do.
the other one that's really cool is the Cars Anthology, Just What I Needed, the booklet that's included with that.
Yes, yes, I do
Pretty
like that.
nice, pretty good read.
Yes. Is that Brett Milano? Did he write that? Can't remember. I don't have mine in front of me.
Heck, I don't know. My eyes are bad. This is really small type, though. Holy smokes. But a lot of cool pictures in here.
Yeah.
And I haven't read this booklet since I got the CD originally, so I couldn't even say what's in here now.
See, and that's the same,
But
like that one and the one that came with the deluxe album.
yes,
I use them as references. I wouldn't say constantly, but fairly often, especially if I'm writing about a specific song, I'll look back through those things and just see what comments or little tidbits, because they mention so many little factoids in those little booklets that are just invaluable. I love them.
yeah. Well, let's face it, if they're gonna, continue to re-release albums that people already have, they have to include something.
Yeah.
And we're getting Shake It Up and Heartbeat City with those extra songs on them, and for a lot of people that's enough. But when it comes to the debut, they've already done that once.
Yes.
So they're going to have to do something.
Yes.
Footage, a little book with a lot of information in it, that kind of thing.
Please, yes. Photographs. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Can I have some more? Huh?
Can I have some more, please? Going back to Frozen Fire,
Mm-hmm.
the other thing I forgot to mention about this is that when Toby Goldstein first met Ric Ocasek, he gave her a copy of his Freely Sing in Paradise.
He did? I don't remember seeing that in there.
Yeah. I caught that little. I should have written down the page, but I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
She said she still has today. Well, that was in '85, but I'm sure she still has it.
Oh, she better.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I saw one of those on eBay once.
No, you did not.
Yeah, hand stitched and.
How much was it? Exorbitant.
It was It was in the hundreds. Beginning bid.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, I would love to. I don't even have to get my hands on it. I just love to see it. I'm just so curious about it. And for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, Ric wrote some poetry, right, and made his own little book that he would leave in record stores, as I recall. He would drop little piles of them in record stores around town just to see if anybody would take them. Very difficult to find. Did you hear that too? Is that accurate? I remember hearing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to get mine. That was like what, late 60s?
Yeah, they're listed as going from 68 to 76.
Oh, okay.
Although I could sworn in the book that she said it was like before that, 74, 73 or something like that, but she might have been wrong on the date.
I was thinking it was before the Ocasek and Orr days, but I don't know. That would have
like
been
70, 72.
Yeah-ish. Yeah, somewhere in there. Yeah, very cool.
The reason why I bring that up is something that I have, and I know I got it off of Ric's website.
Okay.
When I got it off of there, I have no idea. And it was a PDF. It's a small little booklet that you could print off, and it would print off double-sided, and you just fold it up like a book, and it made a little book. And it's just called Ric Ocasek.
Okay.
And it's little snippets of negative theater. So I'm thinking that, I can't remember exactly when Ric's website started up. I know it was like late 90s, around in there. And I know he was probably promoting Troubleizing, which came out in 97.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that's when you could get it. And, like on the website, it was like extras, poetry. And it was one of those where you could download it and print it up and make your own little Ric poetry book. But it's only numbered and 12 pages to it. It's got a front cover and back cover when you print it up. But it's just, got some of his photography, just little bits of prose in with it. And I printed it up, used taxpayer dollars because I remember I printed it up at school.
Ooh, busted.
And I just printed up one copy. I've searched and searched for that file thinking, oh, come on, I was smart enough to save that PDF. No, I wasn't.
Really?
I cannot find it anywhere. So I'm putting it out there that if anybody, I'm thinking John would probably have it, knowing John, has that file, it would be cool to share that with people.
Yes, very cool. Yeah, maybe, I know John listens from time to time, so maybe he'll chime in. if he has it.
Yeah, very cool. But that leads me to the book Negative Theater.
Okay, which I have
never
seen.
You've never seen, huh? But this was another. Well, first of all, originally when the album Negative Theater, which reminds me, I still need to send that to you. I know. That was supposed to be.
I thought maybe you just decided you weren't going to, so you were just ignoring it.
Oh no, I've still got other stuff that I was supposed to send out still sitting here. It's just a matter of getting it sent out.
Yeah.
It's all packaged up, I swear. I'm looking at it right now. It's just sitting there. But when originally, when Negative Theater was supposed to be, released or whatever, it was supposed to be like a double two disc with a book of poetry with it. And
right.
then, I don't know if the record company, scratched that idea, and what ended up happening was, Rick did Quick Change World that was released here,
okay.
Released Negative Theater in Europe, and they share some songs in common. And then from out of nowhere, this Negative Theater book came out, and is put out by Radioactive Books from New York. It says it's a limited edition first printing and was copyright 1992.
Okay.
That's not when it was put out, though. There's no way. It was much later, but this was another one of those deals where people in the Frozen Fire list, somebody put out, hey, did you know you can get a copy of the Rick's Negative Theater if you send like $10 or whatever it was to his lawyer.
Wow.
We're like, really, his lawyer? Yeah, and they gave like the address and blah blah blah. And so I did, and I know a lot of other people did. And lo and behold, one day this book shows up on my door, and it's autographed by Ric
wow.
Ocasek, 98, and it was funny. I don't know if. I think when it caught on that maybe Rick didn't sign them all, because I know some people got some that weren't signed by Rick.
Okay.
Because I can remember saying, hey, mine's autographed. And they're like, yeah, sure, it's autographed, Dave. And I was like, no, it is. It's autographed. I don't know if Rick autographed it, but by golly, somebody put his name in there with 98 with a ballpoint pen. But, this book was, then included with Rick's lyrics and prose, which I know you have.
Yes.
Another highly recommended book. Come on, people. If you're listening to this podcast, you've got to pick up Lyrics and Prose.
I'm sure we'll talk about
Rick.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. But the interesting thing about it is that all of Negative Theater from this book is in Lyrics and Prose. So when he put it out, he included all of the Negative Theater stuff.
Okay.
The interesting aspect of that is that there is a, I guess you would call it's prose, that was titled Used Cars in the Negative Theater book. Okay. And let's see if I can find it here. It'd be nice if I could find it real quick, but I probably can't. Oh, good. Let me find it. But when he put it in his lyrics and prose, he retitled it.
Okay.
Let me see here. Say something, Donna, while I'm looking for used cars. Oh, there it is. Page 6. Too late.
Dang, that was my big opportunity to make a speech.
That was your big opportunity. Okay, so it's used cars. The paint was fading, pinholes of rust, auto transmission, slow gears, cold spark plugs, clogged intake valves, drivetrain bent, hubcaps missing, one-way roads, stoplights, traffic jams, hot cops. People stole its parts, took the side roads to someplace. And when that came out, I know I took that as, hey, here's something that was, probably written around the time the cars were breaking up, and that was kind of his way of saying that. I mean, that's the way I took it.
Yeah.
Interesting thing about it is when that very same piece that's in lyrics and prose was retitled New Cars.
Do you think it was a jab?
I think it's a jab, personally.
What year
Yeah.
was Lyrics and Prose put out? I'm gonna look.
Lyrics and Prose
2012?
was put up 2012, yeah.
Ah.
So I think it was a jab.
Oh, Rick, you sly devil.
Sly dog you, yeah.
Wow.
So in lyrics and prose, that is around 279 is where negative theater starts. But yeah, that was one of the first things that I noticed when I came to that. It's like, holy crap, that's used cars. Wait, it's new cars now.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, I bet he renamed that somewhere around 2006. Be my guess.
Ish.
2006-ish. Yeah.
Interesting.
Very cool. But negative theater is just like lyrics and prose in that it has, all the different prose in it and so forth. But a lot of it is photography. Very, very interesting pictures.
Different pictures than in Lyrics and Prose?
Yeah, there's some of his photographs in lyrics and prose, but not like in negative theater.
That's what I'm asking. Yeah, that they're different.
Lots more.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's some in here that I almost wonder if it's Paulina, but you can't totally make out who it is. But I'm sure a few of these might be her.
That's cool.
But just a lot of cityscapes, a lot of here's one picture right here that's definitely Paulina. That's looks like a mixed media piece with her photograph in the middle. And there's another one. But there's other models in here that he's photographed. And then just like things like pictures of Marlboro cigarette packages and signs and things that he obviously captured in New York.
Is there any pictures of Meatloaf?
No pictures of Meatloaf.
No Meatloaf?
There is a picture of Pia Zadora and John Waters.
I didn't mean Meatloaf the singer. I meant Paulina's Meatloaf that she might have.
I knew what you meant.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
I was comparing Pia Zadora to a meatloaf.
Either comparison is not flattering, whether it was Meatloaf the singer or Meatloaf on a plate.
Yeah, lots of phallic kind of pictures in here too.
Surprise.
Which is interesting. Yeah, very cool. A cool book. And I keep that one in plastic. I took that out of the plastic for this podcast because.
Nice. Yeah, that's
kind of neat.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So lyrics and prose. As I was saying, if you're listening to this podcast, you should have this book just because it has every bit of lyrics that has ever been on a Cars or Ric Ocasek's solo album, and then some. You've got all the negative theater stuff. You've got the Freely Sing in Paradise poems. It's interesting. And I think he says in the foreword that it's not a book meant to be read from beginning to end. It's a book to pick up and just kind of browse through and
Yes.
Look at things. And I do it quite often. I have it on my my phone, and I have it in physical form. And hey, it's a good reference, or it's just good just to read through some of the prose.
Yes, I agree. One of the things that is neat about it too is the different pictures of the handwritten lyrics.
Yeah.
Is really cool. And then, like you were saying with negative theater, there's photography in here, there's artwork, there's a good variety of things that obviously came from Rick, which is fun.
You know, the weird thing that because I looked through this week, that I finally realized about this, the song Free isn't in here.
Yes, I did know
absent.
that. Yes.
Yeah.
I did know that.
At first, I thought it was a Kindle mistake, because that's what I was looking at, and I went and got my physical copy. It's like, where the hell is it? It's not there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Tina, our good friend in the Fanorama, Tina pointed that out to me a while ago. That because she asked me, is your copy missing that song?
You should have said, no,
I-
it's just yours.
It's right here with Rick's signature on it.
I got it. It's handwritten by Rick in our copies.
Yeah. And I like that it does have other lyrics, like you said. So it has some of it has "Take What You Want" and "Hotel Queenie" and some of those iconic songs that didn't make it to their official vinyl. So I think that's really cool. Of course, it has my favorite song in there, which is "Wake Me Up." That's in there, although it doesn't have the lyrics that Benjamin sings, but it does have the lyrics, I'm assuming, as Rick wrote them, even though Benjamin ended up singing something different.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting when you go through the prose sections of this, of all the little lines here and there that he takes and, to put into songs.
Yes.
You might be reading and go, okay, I know that from somewhere. Where do I know that from? And then you realize, oh, it's in this song.
Yes. And it's, as I've been listening to his solo stuff, Rick's solo stuff, and we've talked about this a little bit before, it's that same kind of thing. Rick is just woven through all of it in the sense that there are phrases and words that he uses throughout his writing. In Bottom Dollar, I think it's, what is the lyric that's in? It's from Bye Bye Love. Hang on, I'm pulling it up. Oh no, not from Bye Bye Love. Feeling cross and wavy on the edge of the cuff, pushing in a poppin' because you don't get enough. That's from You Can't Hold On Too Long.
Yeah. Under the Cold and Darkly Sky.
Yes.
He's used in 3 different songs.
Yes, I do remember us talking about that. Well, I think you had that as one of your little. Remember what you used to do on Twitter? You used to have that contest.
C3PO Ocasek?
Yes. That needs to be revived.
Yeah, well,
I know.
Sometimes people just wouldn't. They anything I put with that was just Rick, not the Cars. I mean, something that just wasn't like, okay, here's the lyric. I don't mind you coming here.
Right.
What song was it? If it wasn't anything that was just like stand outish, it just like stymied people. They didn't know what to do. You got to think a little bit.
I do like some of these poems too. I don't read I haven't read it cover to cover. But same kind of thing. I'll pick it up sometimes and just page through it and find something. So I have little earmarked. Some of the corners are bent down, and I've got little bookmarks sticking in it here and there. One of the ones that I thought was really telling and revealing, I think, about Rick was there's a poem on page 272. It's called "They Say," and it says at the bottom it says 1977. So I'm assuming that's when he wrote it. But it's really, to me, it was a real window into what he was experiencing, and maybe the Cars getting off the ground, or I don't even know if he wrote it at the point where they were the Cars or after they got their record deal. I don't know, but it's just it's sort of panorama-ish in that it expresses the frustrations and maybe the banality of the music industry and all the hangers-on, and I don't know. It's just really good. So
you have your copy right in front of you?
Yeah.
Turn to page 73 and tell me if that doesn't look like a picture of Greg getting hazed into the band.
Uh-oh, hang on.
Am I right? All right, Hossy. Think you want to be in the Cars?
With this bag over your head.
That's right, man.
Or is it a pillowcase? What is it?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's scary.
And now you have to figure out how to get in this car.
Yeah.
Don't tell him it's got suicide doors.
That's right. So there you go, folks. Page 73, Greg getting hazed. It's that one.
It's either that or it's something from Dante Tomaselli.
Yeah, that too.
It might be something from him.
Okay, let's try something here, Donna.
What's that?
Just going through the albums, and we won't include Rick albums, so this just be Cars albums. Just flip to a random page, which I'm doing right now.
Okay.
Okay, I'm stopping.
Okay, got it.
Oh, I can't do that one because that's a Rick song.
Oh.
Can't do that one, huh? Okay. And I'm just going to read a random lyric. You tell me what song.
Ooh, Ooh, okay.
Okay? Yeah.
I'm nervous. Okay.
The time is right.
Hang on, I gotta sing the whole song. Time is right today. It's not the night?
Yes, that is correct.
David, I opened to page 85 also.
Oh my gosh, that's creepy.
That is freaky. I totally, of course, I closed my book. I had my finger in it when you started to say yours because I was going to think. But before you told me the lyric, I opened to my page and it was page 85. It's not the night. That's so weird.
Now, see, I think this next one's going to, I would think it's hard. I would have a hard time thinking this.
Okay.
When you dance between the stars.
When you dance between the stars.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be off one of the later ones.
In the night, late, sweet, and dark. When I say the next one, you'll get the song automatically.
Go. I don't know.
Turn them over one by one.
I don't know.
You don't need to jump the gun. Donna, you know this.
Do I?
Yeah.
What is it?
Dur, 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 dur.
What is that? I'm even more confused.
That was me doing the
Was it the
Greg
Wiggles?
part.
Oh.
Dur, 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 dur. I don't know. It's Maybe Baby.
Oh, I don't
When
know
you
that
dance
song.
between the stars.
No,
In the night, late, sweet, and dark. Okay.
I should have known it. I thought in my head it might have been something off of Shake It Up. I don't like that song. I don't
I'm
like
sorry. How about this one?
that song. Okay.
Dance by the window in flamingo pink.
Why am I so attracted to you? Got a lot in my head.
There you go. See, you're on this, Donna.
I always have to sing through the whole rest of the.
Let me do one more.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. And see, here's what I think makes it so hard is when you're not singing it, it makes, you got to think about the line.
Yeah.
What can you say to make me realize?
What can you say to make me realize?
But if I read it like this, what can you say to make me realize?
No, I don't know.
What can you say to make me realize?
What can you say? You are the girl? Is
No.
you are no? What is it?
What can you say to make me realize the full moon in your eyes?
No
You
clue.
probably know now that you're waking up. You still don't have it?
No, what is it?
Fine line. Door to door.
No. Again, it's just not a song I like. I've maybe listened to it once.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. And I haven't spent a whole lot of time on Door to Door except, of course, for the Benjamin songs. So, yeah, I'm sorry.
I want you to end on a high note.
Okay, good. Do just what I needed. Do Bye Bye
You're going
Love.
to get this one. No. Having a real time.
Just taking what's running to you.
Boom. There you go, Donna. High note.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Oh, people listening are just going to be shaking their head saying, we thought she was a fan. She's not. Yeah. I'm not a true fan, apparently.
Yeah. You're not a real fan.
Yeah.
Interesting. On page 320,
Okay.
the very first bit of prose, I love the title.
Hang on just a second. Let me get there. This is all the way at the end. I don't have a page 320.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I do. Frag?
Frag. Mented. But I'll call it fragmented. So he's fragmented the word fragmented.
I see what he did there. That's
Flung,
pretty great.
delinquent, crying, fuck tears on a dry night, on a dry mouth night.
Interesting.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah.
This other one, sucker punched. Just walking around the noise-colored party, I see your eyes, I feel sucker punched.
That's pretty good, huh?
You know what? That's the kind of thing you want to say to a woman.
Yeah, this is good. Yeah, so that's a good one. Like you said, it's a must-have.
Yep, definitely.
For sure.
All right, that's it.
Well, I have one more.
Oh, and what is it?
Did you
Something
see my
I
big
don't have?
blue? Well, it's a tour book. It's the blue.
From Heartbeat City.
Yes, the Heartbeat City tour book. And this one we know is a tour book because it says on the back, Cars Tour 1984. So no question.
I remember seeing that at the concert. The people next to me bought one.
Yeah.
And as they were looking through it, I looked through it.
Well,
Over their shoulder.
And so then did you feel like you didn't need to buy one because you already saw what was in it?
I'd already blown my wad on a shirt and a bandana.
Nice.
And something to drink. So.
Do you still
that
have
was
the bandana, or did you give it away?
I give it away.
So this is. Go ahead.
The shirt I gave to my daughter when she was 9.
Aw, nice.
I've got a picture of her in it, but then again, she's lost it.
Oh, rats.
It's gone forever. Yeah.
Well,
It's probably at a friend's house.
yes. In their garage, in their,
Yeah.
thrift store box that they never get around
Yeah.
to taking to the thrift store.
Because she decided to trade shirts with somebody that night.
Right.
Exactly.
So this is the Cars Heartbeat City tour book. It's quite large, larger than the other books that we have, and it is pretty much all pictures and a few lyrics typed in there. It's all color. And
Lyrics from Heartbeat City album, correct?
I'm assuming so. Let me look at them here. In fact, I'll tell them to you, and you tell me what song they are. Okay, it's your turn. Quid pro quo, Dr. Lecter. Okay, so the first one is, oh no, Sissy. The first one is dance all night, play all day, don't let nothing get in the way.
Surely you jest.
No, that's the very first one.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not going to answer that. That's too easy.
I know, it's insulting actually to tell you that.
What are you rubbing the microphone into your armpit? What's going on?
No, I'm so sorry. I didn't even think about that.
Hey, we're not that kind of show, lady.
No, I rested the book on top of my laptop and I was flipping the pages. I didn't even think about the microphone being right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry, people. The next one is you want to feel electric. You want to feel loose. You want to
That one's too easy too.
Okay.
And, you'll get to one I won't know, and I'll just say, "Oh, that's too easy."
I know. That's why I'm like, I was just thinking that. I was like, well, you still have to say the
Shake it
title.
up. Hello again.
Okay. It's interesting because don't the lyrics actually say you want to feel electric, you want to feel loose, you want to be eclectic?
You want to be eclectic.
Yeah, so in this book it says you want to feel electric, you want to feel loose, you want to be electric, you want to call a truce. It says electric twice instead of eclectic.
Yeah, it's changed to eclectic.
Yeah, interesting. All right, the next one is I know you're getting twisted and you can't come down.
Magic.
There you go.
I had to think about that one.
I know, because like you said, it's not in sing-song, so it's a little different. Okay, last one. Who's going to tell you when it's too late? Who's going to tell you things aren't so great? Who's going to drive you home tonight?
Wow. That is a tough one.
Stumped you.
Yeah. I give up. I don't know, Donna.
Well, you're going to have to do some research then.
Was it a popular song?
I think they got some airplay. I think it got some airplay, yeah.
Who sang it, David?
David sang that David. It was the one that David sang, yeah. Written by Elliot. And it was originally a gospel samba. So
it featured Elliot on that little keyboard blowy thing, right?
Yes, with his 9 fingers.
Yeah.
And yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I remember it now.
Yeah, and I think Cindy Crawford was in the video.
Yeah, okay.
If I recall, one of those 80s supermodels.
So isn't it funny that they put the lyrics for that song in their tour book before they go on tour, and that song wasn't a hit till they were, well into the tour. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I guess it was a hit before 85, and then Live Aid just blew it up again. Yeah. So I was going to say, remember I told you that the Frozen Fire book I got from my friend Lee. This book I got from someone you've already mentioned, Joe Milliken, sent this to me to thank me for a bunch of writing that I did for him. And so that was a nice surprise. I got it out of the blue.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. So exciting. And also, this is kind of on the side, but there's a picture on the Facebook page that shall not be named of someone sleeping on a couch with their back to the camera. And do you know what I'm talking about already?
Yes.
Okay.
I know the picture.
Okay, yes. And there's a Heartbeat City tour book on the table. But the Big Salad asserted that the person sleeping was Benjamin, and there's no way that that's Benjamin because of the hair color, and it just sticks in my craw because I know that that's not accurate. So I had to throw that out there.
Very cool.
All right. So I feel bad now for airing my little grievance, but go ahead. Maybe I'll edit that out.
Don't feel bad. No, do not edit that out. Do not edit that out. All right.
Okay, so those are the books I have. Well, and speaking,
awesome.
were you gonna do? I don't know if you're already planning to say this, but I was gonna say, speaking of Joe Milliken, he is in the process of his book, the biography of Benjamin Orr, right? And that is, as far as I know, on track to come out this year. So that's in the works.
I did not know it was going to come out this year.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
At the beginning of January, he posted on his Facebook page, he started contacting publishers. Everything is done and ready to go, and now it's just in the process of finding a publisher and going from there. So yeah, he's moving forward. He's on track.
Fantastic.
I know.
Fantastic.
Very exciting.
We most certainly will have an episode dedicated to that book and all those new Benjamin things that we find out.
That just might be an event in my life that causes me to have some sort of heart failure. So I'm just saying, make sure you have a backup plan if I die mid-podcast when we're talking about that book.
Gotcha.
All
right. So, Donna, believe it or not, we have a lot for the Midnight Scroll tonight.
Do we really?
We do.
Is it a lot legit?
In all seriousness, yes.
Oh, yay. Good. Okay.
And then I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the podcast, we are picking the winner of Kurt's contest.
Yes.
At the end, too, which we will do at the very end. So if you people have been listening this long, say, come on. We will do that.
Oh, good. Yes.
So give us some of that Midnight Scroll music, Donna.
Here it comes. Okay, what do you got?
All right. So first off, I don't want to go into ones that were sent for the contest. So here's the first one that I got.
Okay.
I got this last week. I find it very interesting.
Okay.
This is from Shaylin Haver.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead. I'll say Shaylin's address. Shaylin Haver 02 at gmail.com. It says, greetings, my dearest.
Oh.
My name is Shaylin Haver from Copperas Cove, Texas, United States of America.
Okay.
I am a NASA astronaut officer working at U.S. military base camp, Engineer Brigade in Libya. I pick interest on you. I sent you an email a month ago. Did you receive it? Am waiting for your reply. And it's got two nice pictures of this military woman. Real email, Donna. I didn't make this one up.
Are you
real email? I don't know what the hell this thing is, but I'm glad to get it out of the inbox. It's really creepy because whoever this scammer is trying to come off like they're an American military officer, yet they have no grasp of the English language. Does not make sense.
What? Dave.
I pick interest on you. I sent you an email a month ago. Did you receive it? Am waiting for your reply. Okay.
That's it? You seriously just read that on the Midnight Scroll?
No. This is one of the next email I want to read. This is the kind of email that you get because of karma. Okay? This is a real email, Donna.
I know, but is it relevant? Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is relevant to this podcast.
All right.
This is from The Doctor is In, and the header on it is no buts about it. Give some thought to your colorectal health.
David, oh my
I
gosh.
kid you not.
Dave.
Be kind to your behind.
No, it does not.
It does. It does. I'll forward it if you want to.
Do not.
Gastroenterologist Dimitri Schuster, MD, and colon and rectal surgeon Brad Paris are ready to talk colon health and wellness, as well as colon cancer prevention and treatment. Colon cancer is highly treatable if it's detected early, so learn how to get screened and look after your colon and rectal health.
Wow.
Pretty awesome, huh?
I'm sure that this is in direct response to your big PSA that you had to do for 20 minutes on that episode about your colon.
I think it's karma.
I think it is too.
I think it's karma. Okay,
Nice.
so now I'll get into the real ones.
Okay.
Harold to us.
Hey, Harold. Thank you.
Harold.
Thank you for writing in, Harold.
Harold, yeah. Notice I'm not saying Harold's last name or his email address, because this is, a real email.
That will tip me off in the future. Okay, go ahead.
Harold says, "Good evening, Dave and Donna. I just wanted to drop a note to say how great the podcasts are." Thank you very much, Harold. "I really enjoyed episode 21, Influenced by the Cars. Your recommendations of the Mylars, Death Ray, and Sunset Valley led me to check them out." Awesome.
Nice.
"They are worthwhile. I already had Collective Soul and Fountains of Wayne and highly recommend their albums." You bet, buddy.
Yeah.
It says, "Donna, I'm curious how your Rick solo listening experience is coming." Tell us, Donna.
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting. Those early albums in particular, I've discovered that I'm really not a fan of Rick's voice unless I'm a fan of the song. Does that make sense? So, especially Beatitude was really difficult for me to get through, I'm afraid.
Really?
Yeah, however, I have been listening to Nexterday repeatedly. I love Nexterday.
Have you listened to This Side of Paradise yet?
Yes, I did. Well, and that one I think I only listened to that one day because I was trying to keep up with you on the one a day thing. So that one and Fireball Zone I need to go back and listen to a little bit more. I have not listened to Quick Change World. Yes, I have not listened to Troubleizing, I think is the one I haven't listened to yet. Because I'm kind of stuck on Nexterday now. I picked it up because I couldn't keep up with you, so then I got out of order, and so then at some point I just grabbed it. Well, and plus I was derailed when I didn't have Negative Theater. I was a deer in the headlights. I didn't know what to do because I couldn't go out of order. And so, anyway, so I love Nexterday at this point. But yeah, it's just I've really got to be able to like the entire song in order to be able to like his voice, it seems like. So I'm still in there pitching. I'm giving it a go. I think I would like to actually write something about it.
I think you really need to go back and listen to This Side of Paradise, just based on the fact that there's so many Benjamin backing vocals.
Yes.
I think two or three songs on that album.
Yes.
And I think probably commercially it did the best because he had emotion.
Yes.
In there. So
which I love that song.
The thing about Rick's solo albums is, I think you got people like me who love the Cars, but also love Rick's solo stuff and see them as two different things. And
Right.
a lot of people will say there's no difference. Rick wrote songs and whatever, but there is a difference, and the difference is that you don't have four other people making contributions to Rick Solo's albums.
Right.
It's just Rick and what he wanted, or what the producers wanted.
Right.
But if I had anything negative to say, is that there are some songs on some of his albums that are just screaming for background vocals.
Yeah.
Like, for example, on Quick Change World, the song Hard Times.
Okay.
That one is you just want to hear some of those Cars harmonies, some of those Greg Ben and Elliott harmonies on that song. But it's Rick's solo album, so
Right. I think someone had commented in the group too, something along the lines of, if you listen to him in order, it's one of the clearest examples of an artist's progression.
Yeah.
And I remember reading that, and I kind of had it in the back of my mind, and I definitely feel like that. It's either of the artist's progression or of Ric's ability to fit into the sound of the times. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Beatitude is so 80s. It's so dated to me in a sense. Um, but that's what all that music sounded like that time. And so, then you compare that to Next Day, which is, oh, the sound is just so, it's just, there's more acoustic, it's just richer,
Yeah.
there's something between. And so I definitely feel like you get a vision, you catch a vision of Ric one way or the other, going from beginning to end like that.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
and I always thought Door to Door was a good example of just Ric evolving in his songwriting. I mean, with all the different types of songs that are
yes,
on Door to Door.
yeah.
Um,
The other thing I noticed about him, and this I've been listening to to Milkwood a lot lately, and Ocasek. I mean, there's only a few Ocasek and Orr songs and stuff, but I'm kind of going through the history a little bit, and there's always an underlying country vibe. I feel like you can really hear that influence in his writing. There's always at least one song that has a little bit of a twang to it.
a wang, a twang.
Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
a Baltimore twang. No,
Yeah.
as I go back through, I'll jot down which ones I feel are like that. But that was definitely something I noticed too, is that little country thread working its way through his works. So I'm enjoying it though, Harold. Thank you for asking me and keeping me accountable. I'm definitely enjoying it, and again, I just so appreciate you sending me the Beatitude CD. In fact, that reminds me, I need to send you Huckleberry Taffy. Hello,
It's
Harold.
her go-to, Harold.
It is. It's my
Yeah.
signature thing.
Yeah. Hopefully she'll send Huckleberry Taffy to you that's wrapped.
Hey, I always send it wrapped.
I get it's like a big ball. It's all stuck together.
Hair on
You know,
it, and yeah.
hair on it. Yeah. Yeah.
Poor Dave.
Right. Finishing up Harold's email, it says he's looking forward to the expanded discs and wondering if there'll be an expanded door to door. I'm sure they have plans for that.
Yeah, I'm sure they would. They must. I would be shocked if they didn't.
Yeah.
And maybe
Nice.
an expanded move like this.
Do you have your email in front of you?
I can pull it up. Yeah.
So I'm going to forward the next one to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, it's working on it. How many more do you have?
3.
Wow.
I'm gonna let you read the next one.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we didn't do that before. Are you sending it?
I just did.
Okay.
My message was sent, and that way I get to read along with you and see if you embellish.
I just am like, hi, Donna, I think you're the best. That Dave's all right, but boy, Donna, you really make that show.
And you also have to realize what a great co-host I am with you, Donna. The fact that this person's email I forwarded to you to read.
Oh, okay.
Because
Okay, oh, I got it. Oh, it's from Kurt, from our good friend
it's
Kurt
from our
Gaber.
buddy Kurt.
Yay!
Yes.
Hi, Kurt. I'm so excited. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Kurt says, hi guys. The Hall of Fame induction will be here before we know it. I hope we can get some creative input on some gatherings of Cars fans that will be casual and get a lot of people involved. My intent was to go to Cleveland whether I got tickets or not, and I would still like to think along those lines so people that were not able to get tickets can still be included in activities other than the induction ceremony itself. I think part of the excitement will be to meet many friends that have only known each other through Facebook. I would hope that doesn't have the awkwardness of a high school reunion, yet there are bound to be some pretty good friendships that develop and become even stronger after the Cleveland trip. You, Donna, in particular, are the one I really want to meet because I think you're the greatest.
You're so full of shit.
Oh, whoops. Okay.
Yeah, you forgot I was following along, Donna. Hey, I'm on you later.
All right, even stronger.
It doesn't say looking forward to meeting Donna. It said looking forward to meeting Dave. Stop changing words.
All right, after the Cleveland trip. Having never been to Cleveland, I wouldn't have any idea where to meet, but there's got to be someone who may have some good suggestions on places that we could get together to meet and swap Cars stories. I'm sure there will be plenty of Cars shirts to be worn and shown off. It would be great to have a group photo of as many of us as possible in Cars swag. I can
Good
make
idea.
Yeah, I love this. Listen to this. I can make a banner and bring it along and have all the fans that meet up sign it and see if we can't find a way to get it to somebody who might be connected and get it to a high-profile person or place to show our support. If that's too nerdy, well, maybe Donna can just hang it in her garage.
Yeah.
Just a few thoughts. Looking forward to the upcoming trip, Kurt.
All right. Did you
Yes.
see where it's
Donna,
sent from?
Yes, Donna is the best. And the only
Yeah.
time I ever want to be on the podcast again if it's just me and Donna.
Yeah. And substitute David in for that. Yeah, right. No, did you see where it's sent from? See at the bottom? Sent
from my snowmobile with Snowfi.
That is so awesome. You said, oh, Kurt.
Kurt rocks.
The abominable snowman.
Yeah, there you go. That's a great
Kurt.
idea. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do
Very
it,
nice
Kurt.
idea.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
good.
So our last email, speaking of people who are high up in there and could get a banner to some high-ranking official, we have an email from our buddy L. Glenn Douche.
Oh, that's Douche.
Douche. Greetings, Night Thoughts.
Dave.
I am writing back to your crappy podcast to discuss something very important to me. The Cars induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I assume that both of you are going, but I have yet to take advantage of my personal connection with the band to get my spot in the VIP section. Remember, I personally served the band breakfast and later helped them clean up their flat. Well, I remember that. He posted pictures.
Yes, I do. I do remember.
By the way, did you know that rock stars prefer the toilet paper to be rolled under? The average fan doesn't know that kind of personal information.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. So it says, I started calling in favors by trying to reach Elliot first. Knowing his personal phone number was probably under his God-given name, I started calling all of the Shapiros in the Long Island area. I had no luck until I reached a Max Shapiro who told me, are you one of those crazy-ass Elliot Easton conspiracy theorists? It ain't Shapiro, it's Steinberg. He's always been a lefty, and he has all 10 fucking fingers, you loser. That led me to call all of the Steinbergs in the Long Island area. I thought I found Elliot at one point, but the guy on the line was more interested in talking about car crashes than the cars.
Oh.
Weird. I told him I wasn't interested in this Natasha's driving record, whoever that is. I just wanted to get a hold of Elliot. Well, when I said that, he flew off the handle like a griddle with a loose screw. He screamed, I ain't talking to him right now. You're toxic, toxic, toxic. And he hung up on me. 20 seconds
So
later, my
bad.
phone rang. It was him. He called back and asked if I like monkeys. Weird.
You are so bad.
So I decided to contact Greg next. Guess what? I actually got a hold of him. The phone rang. I heard it pick up. But from there, he seemed like he could neither hear me or talk to me clearly. I summed it up that possibly Greg had answered the phone with a mouthpiece to his ear. Go figure. Greg has had some problems with simple things in the past. Yes, that is true. I tried David next. I tracked him down through his antique shop. He does have an antique shop, right? Yeah.
Yeah, or jewelry or something.
Yeah, jewelry and antique. He answered. I told him who I was. He remembered me. And then he put me on hold. Some tribal music playing. 4 hours later, I had to hang up. Mom wanted me out of the living room so she could watch The Bachelor. Okay. My last attempt was Rick.
Hold for 4 hours.
4 hours?
Okay, go ahead.
Why are you laughing at El Glenn? He's a power guy. My last attempt was Rick. He was relatively easy to get a hold of, but his answer was a resounding no. He said, and I quote, I'm not in the habit of getting the help tickets for anything, but I will turn your confusion into a virtue. I have no idea what that means. So I'm still trying to get tickets. I'm thinking about setting up a GoFundMe.
Oh.
That seems to be the way to go for the elite in the Fanorama. Signed, El Glen Douche. Oh, parentheses. It's Douche. It's French. All right, well, there we go. Thank you, El Glen. What?
Well,
So fun.
thank
El
you,
Glen
El Glen,
Douche. It's French.
for writing in. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
You touched on many interesting elements. Perhaps we shall respond privately to El Glen's
Yeah.
message.
Yeah. He has all 10 fucking fingers, you loser.
Go fun.
Go fund me.
You're so bad. Okay, well, that was a good midnight scroll.
Yeah. So we have to pick a winner for this contest.
Yes, let's.
So to remind our listeners, we had Kurt on last time. Kurt was gracious enough to put up, I believe, a Benjamin Orr sign, a Benjamin Orr shirt, and some stickers, and I believe a free ride on his snowmobile.
Oh, nice.
Mistaken, yeah. And you're gonna go squatching somewhere out there in the Wisconsin wilderness.
That sounds great.
So we asked for people just to email in the answer to the question. What was the song that he played on his Benjamin guitar?
Yes.
And we had people write in. Not as many as I hoped, but there's a good about 10.
Hey, that's good.
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to have Donna pick a number between 20 and 30. Okay? And then I'm just going to count down through this list. And of course, I'm going to be going over them twice to whatever number she says, and then that's going to be the winner.
Okay.
You follow that, Donna?
I think so. I just have to say a number, right? You figure the rest of it out.
Say a number between 20 and 30.
14. Oh, wait.
Where did you go to school?
I homeschool my kids.
21, 22, 14.
You know what?
20.
Since this is episode 23, I'm going to say 23.
Oh, that is good. Okay, so let me count through.
All right.
4, 5, 6, 7,
Do, 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 do,
11, 12,
do,
13,
do.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22,
We should add-
23. Here's our winner.
Who is it?
Our winner is. Okay. Our winner is. I do not mean to butcher your name. Her name is Beta, Beta Sanchez.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's the reason I pronounce it Beta is because of Beta tapes. It's spelled the same way.
Okay.
But
Okay.
since she has the right answer, Kurt made his guitar playing debut at a backyard barbecue. What song did he play on Benjamin's guitar? 8675309.
Jenny.
That is correct. So
Yay.
she is our winner.
Yay.
And what I'm going to do is I will forward your email to Kurt, and Kurt will be sending that stuff out to you.
Congratulations.
And, yeah, there we go.
So exciting.
She lists where she works at. What kind of place that? Looks like some kind of computer company or something that she works for.
Did she say where she's from? Anything like that in there? No?
No.
I haven't seen her in the group, so I'm curious. So yay.
Yeah, interesting.
Come find us, Beta. Come find us in our Night Thoughts Facebook group.
The place that because she's probably gonna think I'm a stalker now. The place that she works for is in Arizona.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So I assume she's in Arizona somewhere.
Yeah.
Hey, our friend Jenny is in Arizona, right? Isn't Jenny from
yes. No. New Mexico.
New Mexico.
Yeah, close, but
Yeah, close. Well, southwest.
Yeah. Cactuses and things like that. Cacti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cacti.
Cacti.
Yeah. All right.
Yay! Well,
Right.
congratulations.
All right. So that wraps it up for our episode 23.
Alrighty.
We'll be back in a couple weeks. And any closing thoughts, Donna, like where people can find you?
Oh, yes, please come find me on Twitter. I am at Sweet Purple June. You can also find me on Facebook. I have a page called Benjamin Orr Sweet Purple June, and I write a blog, www.sweetpurplegune.wordpress.org. Come find me.
You can find both of us on the Night Thoughts page, which is something Facebook/groups/Night Thoughts podcast or something like that. Just find us. You'll find us.
You'll find us.
I'm also starting up a new page called He Has All 10 Fucking Fingers, You Loser. Tribute to Elliot's missing digit on Facebook, so look for that. And, of course, on Twitter. I want to see more people on Twitter. Haven't seen any new people on Twitter lately. At night_spots. So let's get Twittering, people.
Perfect.
Yep.
I have to say,
yes.
I keep doing this. This is the second time I did it. It's sweetpurplegune.wordpress.com. Why do I think it's a nonprofit organization? I don't know.
I heard that, but it didn't register with me.
I know. As soon as I came out of my mouth, I was like, what? It's sweetpurplegune.wordpress.com.
Yeah.
So, come find us.
But my page is going to be 10fuckingfingersyouluser.org.
Nonprofit.
Yeah, it's a nonprofit.
You're well, good.
Yeah. All right, folks. Until next time, we'll see you then.
See ya. Bye. Thanks.